Colin Walsh, and I'm the founder and CEO of Varo Bank. And maybe I'll just give you a little bit of background in terms of the origin story of Varro. So prior to starting the company, I had spent 25 years working in traditional financial services. And through a variety of experiences with some of the leading brands in finance, I started to come to the conclusion that the system does a really good job helping people who have money, but it falls short for people who do not. And so people who don't have a lot in the way of wealth and income, the banks struggle to make the economics work. And so these consumers are often left behind. And in my mind, this was creating a huge white space, particularly here in the United States. And the inspiration for me to create Varro was really around this belief that we could drive much greater financial inclusion and opportunity to a massive group of Americans who were largely underserved and certainly overcharged by the incumbent system. And I felt that there was deep systemic financial inequality in this country that could be addressed by creating a hyper-efficient digital bank on a modern technology platform with a sophisticated design system that could help improve people's financial lives by solving everyday problems. And so since we started the company 5.5 years ago, I'm thrilled to say that we are the first and at this point only fintech to be operating as a consumer bank with a full OCC national bank charter. And it's a really exciting period of time because a lot of things that I just mentioned are really becoming part of a broader national conversation that I think is much bigger than Varro itself, but certainly Varro is very much part of that dialogue around how we bring greater financial inclusion, equality, and opportunity to millions of consumers in this country. The core thesis around why we would want to become a bank, there are several key reasons. One is that by operating inside the banking system, we're able to innovate around a very wide set of financial products for our customers. So whether it's around transaction and sort of checking accounts, deposits, savings, money management, all the way through a whole range of credit products that can help people improve their credit, build their credit, access affordable credit, and then and address larger needs over time. In addition to over time thinking about providing access to tools to help people, tools and services to help people build wealth. And so being inside the banking system enables that without having to have multiple intermediaries operating on our behalf, where we're actually using somebody else's bank license to be able to accomplish our objectives. The other piece of it is because we're eliminating intermediaries and we're operating as direct members of the payment systems, the FDIC, our costs are much, much lower. So we've seen a significant reduction in our costs because we don't have to pay a fee every time somebody transacts, whether it's on a card transaction where we potentially were renting a bin from another bank, or through an ACH or depositing a check or any method by which someone would transact. So our costs have come down significantly as a result of operating the bank charter. A couple other things is it's really hard to become a bank. I can write the book on that. So having experienced firsthand, it took us over 3 years. We had to get regulatory approval from all 3 major regulatory agencies, the OCC, the FDIC, the Federal Reserve, and it's no small feat. And so it is a difficult process to be able to actually get across what I would say is a pretty large moat, and being able to operate in this environment where we can enjoy some of those benefits on behalf of our customers. We certainly have we're under a fair amount of regulatory scrutiny, which is a good thing because we're dealing with people's money. It's about trust and safety and security, but it has not slowed us down in terms of our ability to drive innovation. So if you just look, since we really were operating fully on the new bank platform beginning of this year, we've introduced new products. We've introduced the Varro Advanced product, the Varro Perks Cashback, merchant cashback program. We've introduced a digital debit card, the ability to fund cards through other debit cards in your wallet, your digital wallets. We've done a whole rebrand campaign. We've done a whole new app design. And this is all just in a matter of months. And we're just getting going. We've built a Varro Believe product, which is a secured credit building product. And so all of these things are happening as operating as a national bank. And so it really hasn't slowed us down in terms of the pace at which we innovate. In some ways, I would argue we've actually been able to speed up because we don't have an intermediary. And now, of course, we take our regulatory obligations very seriously. And so we've built the team and the capabilities and the data infrastructure to be able to do what we need to do to satisfy those regulatory requirements. I would start with a couple of things. I mean, first, it's the customer is at the center of everything we do. And so since we started the company, even when we were operating with a bank partner, the Bancorp, who, we had a great relationship with, we were able to, iterate around a number of product features and product ideas to get product market fit early on. But I would say the core of it is deep customer understanding and deep customer insight. And so really finding out what are the problems that our customers are trying to solve and how can we solve them better than anyone else. So let me give some examples. So if you think about the customer group that I would say super serve are people who, are very concerned about cash flow. They've got, a fair amount, but, of volatility in their expenses sometimes, and certainly on the back of COVID and their income. They care a lot about forming savings habits and starting to save towards specific goals and feeling like they have greater financial resiliency. They also care a lot about their credit. In some cases, they don't have credit and they want to build it. Other cases, they may have damaged their credit because they had too much debt at some point, and they want to repair their credit, or they just simply want to access credit. And so taking all of those sort of consumer needs, we design products in ways that are helping to solve those problems for our customers. So we don't like to think of ourselves as a feature shop, where we just offer or sort of product silos, but we really bundle solutions around the needs that our customers are trying to solve. And again, as I mentioned earlier, by being a fully chartered national bank, there's a lot more that we can do. It's, that's sort of in our purview. We also are operating on our own technology stacks, and we've built a very modern technology stack. We have access to the 360-degree data around our customers and their financial lives so that we can innovate in ways that are more personalized and more powerful ways to help customers see the impact and the real value that we're unlocking for them in terms of helping them achieve what they're trying to achieve in their financial lives. So it really starts with this kind of deep understanding of your customers and a lot of passion around the pain points that they're going through and being a supportive partner in helping them achieve their objectives. In terms of how we make money, it's a few things. So we are not a traditional sort of balance sheet type bank that you might think of. Like if you look at banks and say, they tend to collect deposits from people who have money and they lend it to people who don't have money. And a lot of their income and their revenue is on the back of interest spread. So if you look at our business, it's more of like a payments company. So our customers deposit their paychecks, and then by the time they get to the next paycheck, most of that they've spent, and they've spent it generally on card products, either debit or credit card products. So there's a monetization that occurs every time they use one of these card products that we issue. The other area is around our merchant cashback program. So our customers, we now have a number of great merchants in our app, where it could be Nike and CVS and Walgreens and everyday spend categories, and we earn some commission on the back of those transactions because the merchants are having us provide traffic to them through our customer platform. So there's some revenue on the back of that. Also, we have a small dollar lending program called the Varo Advance program. And so as customers are advancing cash, there's a small transparent fee associated with it. And that is another source of revenue for us. Also, we offer 55,000 free ATMs that sit in convenience stores all across the country and pharmacies across the country. But if customers choose to go to another ATM outside of that network, we'll charge a small fee for that as well. So it's a pretty diversified set of revenues, and our revenues are growing very rapidly. So the business is it's exciting as the customer base is expanding, as more customers are using Varro as their primary bank account. the business is monetizing very quickly, which is also important from a regulatory perspective. Our regulators want to see us, over time generating our own capital, and that we're not dependent on, venture or private equity funding for forever. It certainly was very helpful to get us up off the ground and to start to scale the business. But, we have our eyes set on actually being a profitable, self-sustaining business in the relatively near future. We're very excited. I mean, now that we've done the heavy lifting of becoming a bank and kind of crossing that moat and entering into a place where we have some of the flexibility and the advantages that I was talking about that come with being a fully chartered national bank, it's really about how do we tell our story and sort of amplify our message and become a very meaningful, culturally relevant brand in society where we're actually helping millions of people achieve better financial lives. And so we're now starting to do some advertising. So you may have seen some of our ads around a bank for all of us, which is really trying to spread the word about Varro being a very different kind of bank focused on financial inclusion and financial opportunity. We've also entered into a partnership with Russ Westbrook, who you might know Russ as an MBA all-star or a fashion icon or a philanthropist. But Russ approached us and said, I am very interested and concerned about the financial situation in the country for so many people, particularly people of color. And I want to, leverage my platform and, partner with a fast growth company where I can also leverage their platform. And so we partnered. He became an investor. He's an advisor. And he's actually become a voice, and he's helping tell our story to his almost 30 million fans and followers. And so, Russ is one of what will probably end up being a number of influencers that are very relevant to the customer base that we're serving and share our vision and our values and what we're trying to accomplish in the world. So, I look out 3 to 5 years from now, I see Varro becoming a really iconic consumer brand that stands for something meaningful in the lives of millions of consumers. And, our customers, we are much more of a consumer app than a banking app. And our customers come into the app like twice a day, and they transact like 50 times a month. I mean, so it's something that they are highly engaged in many parts of their financial life. So it's an exciting, time for us. And I would say we're really at the beginning of our journey now that we're operating as a fully chartered national bank.